Okay, so on this occasion, I'm going to explain a project that I'm working on. It's a microservice system design project. Here I have like a summary of the main parts. As we can see, we have an auth service, a gateway service, a MP3 service, and a notification service. The auth service is written in Rust, the gateway service in Python, the MP3 service in we will be using Java with Spring Boot, and the notification service it's written with Node.js and TypeScript. And the idea is we will have all these microservices using Kubernetes, and we will see the flow. First, the client will try to log in against the auth service. The auth service will check against MySQL database if the user exists, and then it will return a token, JWT token. Then the client will try to upload a random video and will attach the access token. And then the gateway service will try to validate the token against the auth service. Note that the gateway service and the auth service will communicate synchronously. Now, once the token is validated, then the gateway service will store the video in MongoDB. And then once the video is stored in MongoDB, it will put a message in the RabbitMQ queue named video. And then the MP3 service will pull messages from the video queue, from RabbitMQ, and then it will try to convert the, first we'll pull the video from MongoDB, and then we'll try to convert the video to MP3. Once converted, it will store again the MP3 file to MongoDB, and will push a message to the MP3 queue. We are using a queue here just to ensure asynchronous communication between MP3 service and gateway service. So imagine if the gateway service receives a lot of requests, and if we communicate synchronously between these two services, then this is not optimal because the user will have to wait for the MP3 service to convert the video, which may take time. And if we receive a lot of requests, then the user might be waiting. And also it might use like eventual consistency, because the MP3 service could return like an ID for the user to download the video, but the user might try to download the video using that ID, but maybe the video is still not converted to MP3. So it's eventual consistency, and then what we want is a strong consistency, and we achieve it by decoupling services using a queue. Then once the MP3 service finishes its job, then it will push a message to the queue, and then we will have another service called notification service, which will pull the MP3 queue, messages from that queue, and then it will send an email notification to the client with the MP3 ID. And then once the client receives the message with the video ID, then it will try to download the MP3 file from the gateway service, which will again try to download it from MongoDB and return it back to the client. Now, if we inspect the code and the point that I'm currently in the project, Here we can see the out service, which is written in Rust. Here we are configuring the access to the MySQL, and we are also configuring the JWT secret, which will be used to generate the tokens. Now here on the handlers, we have two endpoints, which were the ones I was talking before. Here in the login, we perform a SQL query against MySQL, and if the client exists, we will create a token and return it back to the user. Now in the validate endpoint, we will receive a token and we'll try to decode it with the JWT secret, and if it's okay, then we will return 2000 status code. Then the gateway service is written with Python using Flask, and it will have a login route where it will receive a token, and no, it will not receive a token. It will try to invoke the out service, and it will receive a basic auth with username and password. And the out service will do what I said before in the login route. Then the upload endpoint, here it will be hit with a token, and this endpoint will try to decode to validate the token and then see if the token has an admin claim. It will try to upload the video to MongoDB with this line of code, and if everything is correct, then it will create a message for the RabbitMQ queue and will publish a message to the video queue. Now, and the downloads endpoint is still yet to configure and to write the code for it. Now the MP3 service is written with Java and Spring Boot, and the current state is that I just have a listener for the RabbitMQ, and I'm just printing out the message. Now, well, we can see here in the build Gradle that I'm using Java to convert from MP4 to MP3. I still have to implement it. I did some POCs, proof of concept, to see if I can do it, and it's already working, but I have to refactor a little bit of code. And then we are using .m, so we can load the environment variables from .m file, and also we are using the dependency for AMQP to work with RabbitMQ, so that we can use what I showed before, this annotation to listen for the queue named video. And then, well, in the Rabbit folder, I just have some configuration to make RabbitMQ create the queues once the container is running. And here inside the Docker Compose, here we can see all the services that are going to be deployed. Here is the out service, the gateway, the MySQL service, the RabbitMQ, Mongo, and also I'm deploying a Mongo client to interact with MongoDB with a UI. And then here I have a collection.curl, which I will be using to hit all the URLs instead of using Postman, because I think this is more productive. Just by using the keyboard, I can hit the URL and store the response into a variable and then hit the next endpoint. So we can test everything very quickly. Now, to see it in action, we will first use Docker Compose. Let's check first if we have any container running. Okay, so now if we use Docker Compose app, then the services will be deployed, and then we can use this section of code to hit the URL of the auth service. Let's just wait for it to finish. Well, we can check if it's already working. Okay, so here we hit this URL and we receive 2000, and we receive the access token because I configured to send the username and password with the basic auth. Now we retrieve the auth token and we will use it to check the validate endpoint for the auth service. Now here again we receive 2000 and we can inspect the contents of the claims of the token. Now we will use the login route for the gateway, which is the one that the user will use, and again we receive a 2000 and we receive the access token. And now we will try to upload a video and see. Well, first we are going to inspect in 8000. We will get inside the RabbitMQ console and check in the queues. We have already configured two queues, the video queue and the MP3 queue. Now, then we will need to first place a video inside this project so we can upload it. And we will use it by just moving here, copying the file, and then pasting it over here. Okay, so now we have a 34 megabytes video, and now we are going to try to upload it. Oops. Okay, so we uploaded the video and we received 2000. Now, as we can see, the video has a ready message to be consumed. Now, if we open the MP3 service, let's say over here, and then we run it, it will be listening on port 8000. Okay, now it's listening. And let's see. Okay, so we received the message from the queue, and here we can see the video ID and the username test.gmail, which is the one that I'm using. So as you can see, well, here now it's 0 because it's already consumed. So now this is the state that the project is right now, and I'll be sharing the new updates on the project and how I will try to explain once everything configured how it's all working. And as you can see, I'm developing everything with using neovim, and so far I haven't had any problems with Java or Python. Well, you have to configure everything well in order to debug it and use the LSPs, but under the hood it uses the same LSPs that VS Code or other IDEs are using, so it is just a UI. So I hope everything is clear, and well, see you in the next video.